everyone, I'm Rachel, and today on Crack Your Bible, we are going to be talking about Christian defense. Can Christians defend themselves, or do they need to turn the other cheek? Now, why am I talking about this today? I have been on a not a Netflix kick, but I've been on a YouTube kick looking at CCTV videos of people where their homes were broken into and they like fought back with robbers, or like carjackings and things like that in Brazil. And then I binge watched the entire season of 13 Reasons Why last night until 2 a.m. I've never done that before. So all of these things have to do with people doing bad things to you, and can you retaliate? Now, we do know that Jesus says to turn the other cheek, and Christians and Christian leaders throughout the ages will tell you that means that you need to be a doormat. If somebody is pushing you around, you need to turn the other cheek and let them continue abusing and hurting you. And you're supposed to just, let them walk away and do whatever they want to you. And this is a misunderstanding of what Jesus was trying to say, because as you know, Jesus lived under Jewish law, and a lot of times Christians aren't aware of Jewish law or what the culture was like back in Jesus's day. In Israel, if you hit somebody, you owed that person that you hit compensatory damages. So you owed them money because you injured them. Now, unfortunately, like today, there are scammers out there. So there would be people, they would just go up to somebody when nobody's looking and they would slap them or they would punch them. And then when the other person, shocked, retaliates, swings back at them, they make a bunch of noise and say, oh, this person just hit me. They owe me money. They owe me damages, compensatory damages. And so what you had were a bunch of people purposely going out and hurting people for money. It was a scam. And so what Jesus was saying was, if somebody's doing this to you, like, call them on their bluff. Oh, you're going to hit me? Okay, here's the other cheek, in front of everybody. You want to hit me again? Like, don't be scammed. Don't be abused. Don't be taken to the cleaners. And also, don't let other people rile you up where you get in trouble. Now, in the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus is talking about the other things that you need to do besides turning the other cheek or, giving the other cloak, what you would be doing is you would be bringing shame on the other person without extracting vengeance on them, because God says vengeance is his. And it's not for us to carry out vengeance, it's for God to take care of. And we don't need to get caught up in an eye for an eye, but we need to show that the other person is in the wrong. They are extorting people, or they're hurting people, or they're going beyond the scope that the law allows them to do. So you're bringing shame upon them. So if they take your cloak, which is not allowed under Hebraic law, give them your tunic too, so you're naked, and then they're ashamed because look what they're doing to you. So it's a way where you are showing that this person is doing something very wrong without extracting vengeance on them. In China, the exact same thing is happening, where people will run out in the street and purposely try to get hit by cars, and then they will try to extort money from the driver and say, oh, well, you hit me with your car. You hit me with your car. This woman runs into this car, but the car knew that she was going to do this. So the car just stops, and the lady is expecting it to hit her. So she runs towards the trunk and then fakes being hit. So it just shows that she's like a scammer. But the same thing happens in Jesus's day that happens today. So there are always going to be people that are trying to extort money from you, or they're trying to scam you. And don't let people rile you up. Be smart, and you're allowed to defend yourself, but you're also allowed to call people out on their bluff. Like, you don't need to let people abuse you just because you're a Christian and you've heard turn the other cheek. Now, Christians, you absolutely are allowed to defend yourself, but there's a time for peace and a time for war. And the law is very clear on what to do with criminals, and most criminals would be put to death today, to be honest. You wouldn't have a recidivism rate where people just reoffend, and they just keep on going through the very profitable legal system and the prison system here in the West. So, you don't need to be a doormat to be a Christian. That is not what the Bible teaches, and it is an erroneous teaching to say you need to be a doormat. We are strong and we are bold and we don't let people abuse us, but we also don't let people kind of rile us up where we end up getting hurt or we end up getting extorted for money because we retaliate on scammers in the heat of the moment. So anyway, that's just something that I was thinking about, and I will see you on Friday. I would like you to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.